guys can dive in.
Hi, thank you.
Good to see you guys.
Hi, hello. How are you?
For coming. I felt like a real slouch. No one showed up.
Of course not. So, well, I have a bunch of questions, but we'll take turns. So I first of all love the book. It's amazing. I really thought it was awesome. Yeah, I read the introduction, so I have some idea as to why you decided to write it. But I wonder if you could just talk to us a little bit about why you decided to write a graphic novel at this stage in your career.
Well,
or what kind of led to it, I guess.
yeah. Well, nobody asked for it.
Right.
No one was like, "Where's this fighter's new comic?" But this is a story that I just became obsessed with. It started with Paul Heyman asked me what kind of movie I would want to star in, and it made me realize how passive I'd been being and just kind of waiting for someone to hand me my greenlit dream project. And so it made me think, okay, what's a role that no one could play better than me?
Right.
And I ended up writing a story that no one could have written other than me. And so it just came from me being like, okay, if I want to be a storyteller, what's a story that I could tell better than anyone? And I always wanted, to do like a martial arts type of film, like Bruce Lee, Jet Li. That's the kind of actor I always wanted to be, not an Oscar winner,
Sure.
and so that's kind of how the situation for the script came about. Of like, I love martial art films that are just about fighting from point A to point B. Like The Raid is like one of my favorites, from getting the bottom of the building to getting top of the building, and the goal is so simple. And so, I was kind of dealing with my own anxieties of becoming a mom, and so I love the idea of, okay, a role no one can play other than me is a chick fights her way finds out she's pregnant, has to fight her way to the abortion clinic, and all of the threats, the close calls to the baby along the way made her realize, changed her, what she wanted to do by the time that she got there. And so that was kind of like the idea of it. And then once I started writing it, I didn't know that I was writing a goofy romantic comedy.
Right.
But I think a lot of the stuff people bring to me is like, generic, a badass chick. And I am, a goof and a nerd and a whole bunch of other things that people don't assume. And so that's kind of, got into, infused in Mom, that she's like this super, assassin badass that is really just trying to make really dorky nerd, movie references all day, and no one's getting them, and it makes her feel lonely until finally she meets the guy that understands the references,
Right.
And so, that's kind of me and my husband's relationship in a way,
Yeah.
He's not as much, he kind of just looks at me and goes, nerd. But we still speak the same language in that way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Robert.
Hi.
Just wanted to ask, when writing Expected and Unexpected, what was the process from going from regular script format to comic book scripted format? How did you navigate that working with guys like Mike Dale Jr., your illustrator, and with your editor, Axel Bonzo? How did you work through that process?
Well, Axel basically taught me everything that I know, and he took the written, like the screenplay format, and he made it into a comic book script and sent it to me. And then I went through it literally like panel by panel, and was like, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. Here's like I did like a whole bunch of mock-ups of like different scenes and things like that, and it was just like he made a pass and I made a pass and he made a pass, and then once we got to a point where we were like, okay, it's cool, then we brought it to Mike, and then he would do a pass and we're like, do our corrections or not. And so there was a lot of tinkering and going back and forth, and the fact that it's already made and like in your hands right now, it's so crazy, because it's just been a bunch of files and thoughts and conversations, and now it's like tangible.
Also, I guess the last question would be, would you be interested in writing another project similar to this, and would it be a more rom-com route? Was there like a particular genre you have in mind down the line?
I mean, I've already written the sequel to this. I'm obsessed with it. I can't stop. I've also written a couple other stories that are not as, fully fleshed out as these, that I would feel embarrassed to show them to people. But, this is something that just like gives me joy, and that's why I do it. It's not so much that like, oh, I feel like I'm going to profit off of the comic industry. It's more like an obsession that I felt it was weirder to keep it to myself than to bring it out, and share it.
Yes. I will say it lastly, it was enjoyable. Really surprisingly humorous as a rom-com. Not what I expected, and by the end I was like, this is a rom-com. So,
It's so sweet. You should have been expecting the unexpected.
Good plan. All right, so I wanted to iron one of my favorite moments in there, and I'm curious. I'm gonna show it to you, and I'm curious. I almost kind of want to hear how you perceive the scene.
Okay.
I'm gonna show it to you. But is there any other particular moments within this that you still kind of either get a laugh about, or you were very passionate about, sort of the dialogue within it, and then kind of to piggyback off of him too, like. Graphic novels is definitely an amazing space to express yourself, but this is like just the tip of the iceberg. Have you thought about audio books with this as well too? And then we obviously want to talk about a live action project at some point as well, and I would be all for it. Sign me up for it. But yes, I want to show you just the top right box here.
The top right box. We're putting in break. Mom, please, it's not your fucking mom. That was actually in one of the early drafts. I love that you popped on that one. And then she breaks his neck with a toilet seat. I mean, it's the natural progression.
Yes.
Oh God, there are a couple lines. I'm like, oh, I forgot that was in there, and it's funny. But God, what is one that makes me crack up every time? Oh man. I think the one, thanks for the memories, team. That one still gets me. But yeah, there's quite a few. I'm like such a geek for my own writing. But so the coming pun, I worked on this for a very long time, and a long time it just wasn't landing, and and I'm like, man. And then I was finally figured out, and he's like, I'm coming. And then before it was like, well, you coming led to all this trouble in the first place. And I'm like, that's kind of dumb. And it's the kind of thing that I would just go back to over and over and over and over again. And finally I was like, oh, before me? Rude. And so, yeah, I love that line, that I finally figured that one out.
Yeah.
And it's like a puzzle, just what it is that makes it best,
Yeah.
But what is that? Ketchup? Yeah, I don't get me going, because if I like start reading it, I'll get sucked into it again and start reading through it, and it's just, like I told you, an obsession.
Yeah, I just to say too, like from the initial talks about what you wanted to do in Comic-Con, maybe last year to maybe now. You really can feel how passionate you are. And you were very nervous about it too, but you can tell you're like fully invested into this now. You're ready, and it's good to hear about a sequel already and ready. So
yeah, I mean, it's a realm where people are, rightly so, very gatekeepy, because I think a lot of people come into it with not very pure intentions and just trying to profit off of the medium, and so that's what I was kind of the most wary about, that like, oh, Ronda's just coming in for a cash grab, but I was like, I can make money way easier.
Yes.
Okay. this is not my plan. I'm gonna make a comic and and hit it rich, but thank you, I appreciate that. Sorry, I'll stop being so long-winded.
Sorry about that. Thank you so much.
I think the most challenging thing was with the action scenes, keeping the geography of the room consistent. And the one thing I noticed reading comics, that a lot of times in action I lose track of where we are in relation to everything else in the room. And because I wanted the action to be so like step by step, especially because I want to have like graphic sequences and things like that, where your mind doesn't just fill that in, you have to actually see the movement of it. And I think some of the fights, I think the most challenging one was probably the bathroom fight in the gym, because you're going from one stall to another stall to another stall, and how do you know when you've traveled into the next stall? And she's fighting one guy at a time, but they're switching off. So how do I differentiate one person from another and one stall from another? And so that's something I was bugging the hell out of me. And the color, and I was like, their jackets are too similar, and no color, I need to make one guy look completely different and make one bathroom stall look completely different, and the layout. So they really humored me with that, and I hopefully it flows really well. You don't like lose track of where you are when the fight's happening. But that was definitely, I think, the biggest challenge.
What does this project mean for you right now at this point in your career, and how are you hoping that audiences respond to it?
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like it's very precious to me, and it's something that I fight, and people are like, "Oh, we want to see more fights. We want to see fight more fighting, more fighting. You want to wrestle? I want more fighting, more wrestling, more wrestling." And this is something that nobody asked for it, and there's no demand for it. And it literally just came from me, and like pushing it, and then not being able to give up on it, and then finding everyone that at AWA to also share that belief, and I think that's what makes this so different and makes it so special to me, because it isn't something that I felt pressured into or felt like I had to do. This is something that I couldn't not do.
I'm curious about the extensive amount of videos you filmed for the action scenes. Was there a point at which you were like, maybe I don't need to do all of this?
Well, I don't think it was that extensive, but when I wrote it out, I literally wrote out all of the fight scenes.
Yeah.
But as I'm writing it, I'm like, okay, it's hard for you to picture it and know it just from reading it. And so then I was like, oh, okay, well then I have to act it out so that it's clear. And to me, it's just me and a couple of my friends found a ring and were dicking around for an afternoon. That's kind of like
Okay, it seemed like a lot.
It seems like a lot. It's kind of like my idea of a good time.
That's cool.
Of like,
Yeah.
me
Right.
and my friends like, want to go in the garage and do some karate, and film it. And so I'd been filming fight scenes and stuff just as something to do because
Right.
I love fight choreography. And the funny thing is I did it with a couple guys that are like pro wrestlers, and they're like, they really want me to hit them and sell it. I'm like, this is an artist reference. I really don't need to punch you in the face. So I kind of felt bad looking back at the video. I'm like, we're kind of like, pussyfooting around a little bit, and we're not really selling the shots, but it's more for reference. But when I watch it back, I feel like it looks really goofy, but we're having fun. We're like, somebody hold the crash pad to be in the bathroom stall, and I'm like rolling around, and we had to like get some like fake fake pregnancy test to throw in somebody's eye, and like always like, oh, we'll use a water bottle, you'll use this, and it was a great time. It wasn't work at all.
I do want to say one thing.
I'm so
I love the
sorry,
Matrix
guys.
reference.
I gotta move on.
No
Just
worries.
What, last one, last one.
No, I just want to say, 'cause I love the Matrix. I love that trilogy. So when you put that line, like, oh, with the Zenthi, I was like, yes! that made it for me. So.
Oh yeah, what movie? Matrix? No, the one with the necklaces. I was like, no one's gonna get the overnight delivery of the necklaces. So that's that. Yeah. Thank you. I'm so glad that you got that.
Thanks, Rhonda.
Yeah.
Would you be okay to sign me?
Of course. Yeah. My pleasure.
Would you have a preference?
Oh,
Ooh,
you came prepared.
the silver's been popping.
All right.
Also, she's a lefty, which is the best.
Ooh.
I'm a lefty too.
Oh no.
Yeah, right?
This one's kind of maybe a go over with gold.
I'm a lefty, so I'm always very biased.
It's okay. It's a mutual effort.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a picture,
Take
picture.
photos.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
All right, him first.
Thank you.
Do we have a date on when you might be wanting to drop the second one?
No. We need to see how this does.
Okay.
Hopefully, it's successful enough where people demand a second. But if you want to help out, leave me a good review on Amazon.
I got you.
I want a second
Yeah.
one, so.
Oh,
No, I want a second one.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move this further on to work at the police table.
Thanks, man.